The truth is, we all start from zero. Comparison. Seeing what everyone else is doing can make you feel like you're not doing enough. I generally believe running your own business is not for everyone. You are literally a one-man band. I love building something from the ground up. I love that it's mine. Consistency doesn't mean showing up every single day of your life. This episode of Beyond the Tweezers is sponsored by London Lash, who are one of the leading brands in the lash industry. And honestly, they need no introduction if you're a lash artist. They support artists with incredible products, amazing education, and tools that generally make your lash life so much easier. It's a brand I've worked with for years, and I use their products every single day as a lash artist and trainer, and I generally wouldn't go anywhere else. So let's dive into the episode. Welcome back to Beyond the Tweezers. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about running your own business and how something that sounds easy at the start actually requires you to become about 10 different people overnight. Because when you run your own business, especially on your own, you're not just the boss. You are the accountant, the social media manager, the admin, the teacher, the artist, the photographer. The list honestly goes on. And on top of that, you're still expected to run a house, walk the dog, be a good partner. Maybe you're a mum, do the food shop, clean the house, and keep on top of life in general. That is a lot. So when people say just start a business, it's never really just like that. And I want to say this early on because it is important. I absolutely love running my own business and I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I generally believe running your own business is not for everyone, and that's completely okay. The thing everyone talks about is freedom. That's the goal, right? But let's be real for a second. Freedom comes way later. At the beginning, it's not freedom. It's late nights to please clients and build trust. It's working weekends. It's even traveling to educators to better yourself. It's saying no to social plans because you're trying to build something from nothing. And the reason I'm saying this is because so many people feel like they're doing something wrong at the start, when actually they're doing exactly what you have to do. Because the truth is, we all start from zero. And the more work you put in at the beginning, the more you're going to grow and reap the benefits later on. But to be honest, with lash extensions especially, at the beginning this is a bit different. It's not an instant wow effect. You're not suddenly amazing after your first course, and I don't really feel like anyone really prepares you for that. Unlike lash lifts, brows, where I feel like the results feel almost instant and transformative, I always feel like lash extensions take time to master. I even feel like nails are the same. At the beginning, it can feel really deflating. You can see where you want to improve. You see the lack of coverage. If you're someone who's listening and you do nails, you notice where you have applied too much product or where the shape isn't quite right or something looks a bit wonky. You know what I mean. You're not wowed straight away. And I feel like this can really knock your confidence. I always think about it, like last year I tried pole dance for the first time and I felt like a little seal flopping around the pole. I'm not even gonna lie, I got into the car and I thought to myself, what the hell am I doing? But I stayed consistent, and I fast forward a year, I'm still doing this hobby now. And to be honest, this is where a lot of people give up, not because they're not capable, because they are. It's because the beginning is hard, and it does stay hard for quite a while. And I don't feel like anyone really talks about that part. No one's talking about the middle phase. The middle phase is the quiet part. You'll find everyone is cheering you on at the beginning when you open your business. They'll be sharing your post, liking it, telling their friends. But the middle, it's just you and your thoughts. You're showing up, you're staying consistent. And at the same time, you're questioning yourself, wondering, is this even for you? And I want to stay on this point for a second because it's important. Consistency is what wins. You could be the most talented person in that room, but if you're not consistent, if you don't show up, you won't grow. You won't get noticed and you won't build the life you want. But I do want to explain what I actually mean when I say consistency, because consistency doesn't mean showing up every single day of your life. Hello, we're human, you know. There are going to be days where you feel tired. There's going to be days where you don't feel like it. There's going to be days where you need to prioritize rest. Days where something terrible happens and the last thing you want to do is show up and be all smiley. That is completely normal. Consistency doesn't mean 7 days a week with no breaks. Showing up consistently might be 4 or 5 days a week, and that is more than enough. What matters is that you keep coming back, that you don't disappear completely, that you don't give up just because you've had a few slower or harder days. That's when I often see people throw in the towel because they've missed a few days. The more you show up in a way that actually works for you, the more you're going to get noticed, and that's how it happens. That's how growth happens. I really don't want anyone listening to this to feel like they have to be working hard every single day to make it, because the truth is you don't. Consistency is about staying in the game, not burning yourself out. So why do so many people give up in the middle phase? The reason is because it's quiet, because they feel like they're not progressing, because they feel like they're putting in so much work and no one is noticing. And sometimes people who are cheering you on at the start are nowhere to be seen. I've been there multiple times. I've never wanted to give up, but I've definitely had the thoughts of, what is the point? Where am I even going with this? I feel like I'm doing loads and nothing is happening. And then fast forward 6 months, a year later, I am getting the opportunities I'd always hoped for. And why? Because I stayed consistent, even when I felt lost, even when I doubted myself. And this is why I always come back to the point. Consistency is what gets you noticed, and consistency is what makes you win. It's funny because you usually see people cheering you on at the beginning and then again at the end when you're winning. But what you have to realize is that you are the one who has to cheer yourself on the whole way through. You have to back yourself, especially when it's quiet. See, I felt this so many times, even with this podcast. Before I launched it, I felt super lost. I was putting so much time and energy into something with no real idea of what could come from it. And the future still is unknown. But when I was making it, the feeling I had, the excitement, the happiness told me it was the right decision. Like deep down I knew, even without knowing what would happen. But the truth is, no one has it figured out. No one you even inspire to be like. People are just taking action and just seeing what happens. Another time I felt like this was when I created my online course. It was my first one, the 30-day lash challenge. And I remember saying to my mentor right at the very beginning, am I even good enough? Will anyone even join? That quiet phase of creating something and hoping others will see for what you know it is tough. But even with the doubts, I pushed through, and I'm so glad I did, because it went on to be a huge success and even won the best masterclass of 2025, which actually still feels really crazy to say out loud. So social media can also make running a business even harder. Not because of posting, but because of comparison. Seeing what everyone else is doing can make you feel like you're not doing enough. You can sometimes feel like you've missed an opportunity, like you've already too late. I had this feeling literally the other day and I thought, great, I've completely missed that. And I did beat myself up about it. I got so deflated and upset. But the truth is, that's just an irrational thought. There is space for everyone. Instagram and TikTok can feel like an echo chamber. Like the algorithm shows you things related to what you're doing. So even if your feed is full of it, someone else's isn't. And when you notice certain posts or accounts are making you feel deflated or triggered, I actually mute them. Yes, I did say that. I mute them. I actually used to feel a bit embarrassed to saying this out loud. I thought it made me look weak, but sometimes I just don't want to see it. And muting helps me focus solely on myself and my own path. It's not that the accounts that I'm muting are doing anything wrong. It's just how it's making me feel. And personally, I don't want to feel deflated, anxious, or stressed if I'm seeing things that are clearly triggering me. It's not the person, it's just how I'm feeling. So if I remove it, I'm not going to get them feelings. Before we carry on, I just wanted to take a quick moment to talk about London Lash, who are sponsoring today's episode. As most of you know, I am a London Lash trainer, and it's a brand I generally use in my own work and throughout my trainings. So this partnership feels really natural to me. What I love about London Lash is that everything they do is created with lash artists in mind. From the products themselves to the education, the support, the tools that help you work smarter, not harder, while still getting the best possible results. The performance of these products honestly speaks for itself. Whether you're just starting out or you've been in the industry for years, they really understand the realities of being a lash artist. And that's exactly why I choose to use them. I've also got an exclusive discount just for you. You can get 20% off your next order with the code CARIS20. Terms and conditions apply. What I'll do is I'll leave all the links in the episode description if you want to have a look. And as always, a huge thank you to London Lash for supporting the podcast and, of course, the industry. Now, back to the episode. So to run your own business, you need to be driven, you need to be disciplined, you need to work hard. You are running a business. You are literally a one-man band, and the only person who can make it work is you. And if I'm completely honest, I actually think this is the most hardest truth of all. Again, like I said, running your own business isn't for everyone, and that is okay. I used to work in a salon where we were employed, and the girls are still there today because they love the security of it. They know what they earn each month. They get paid holidays, they turn up and do the work and go home. They don't have to do the advertising, and I completely get that. But becoming my own boss was the best decision I ever made. Even with the admin, the marketing, the entire responsibility, I thrive off it. I love building something from the ground up. I love that it's mine, my dream, my hard work, my passion. I am doing it for myself. Running a business teaches you something every single day. You make the mistakes, you learn, you grow, you start seeing the world differently. You step out of that 9-to-5 rat race. You stop answering to anyone else. You start creating the life you actually want. So even with so much to do and a lot of trying to figure it out, I wouldn't change it. Would you? We are nearly coming to the end of this episode, but there is one more thing I really want to talk to you about before we finish, and it is about being kind to yourself. Running a business isn't just about how much work you put into it. It's also about looking after yourself. This is just as important. I always think, how can you pour from a glass that is empty? If we're not kind to ourselves, we're not looking after ourselves properly, then that's when things are going to slip. You become overtired, overwhelmed, and without even realizing, you start becoming a bit sloppy in your business. So yes, work hard, be consistent and show up, but you also need to look after you. That does mean taking self-care days, spending proper time with your family, blocking out time where you're not constantly on your phone. You're actually present and connecting with the people around you. I've been doing this at weekends. I plan what I need to do for work, get it done, and then I put my phone in the kitchen or I leave it upstairs just so that I can be present. And if I'm completely honest, it's made such a difference to my mood, my weekend, because sometimes you can enjoy a business so much even when you're enjoying it, you are slowly burning yourself out and you don't even realize it's happening until you feel exhausted. And with our jobs, nails, lashes, brows, our bodies matter, our posture matters. So looking after your body is part of looking after your business. I literally have a massage once a month, and honestly, it helps me so much. Go and have your nails or your brows done. Do things that make you feel good. Make yourself feel looked after, because your business will benefit from it. And this is also where asking for help comes in as well. Being kind to yourself doesn't always mean resting. Sometimes it can mean delegating. If there is an area of your business that you really struggle with, or something that is draining your energy, it's okay to get help with it. It doesn't mean you're failing. It just means you're protecting your energy. For example, I realised this with the podcast. I was doing everything myself. And if I'm honest, I started to feel exhausted. So I made the decision to have someone edit it all for me. And honestly, it's lifted such a weight off my shoulders. I'm not spending my weekends editing a video for 4 to 5 hours. It was too much. Some people have social media managers. Some people have admin people. Some people get help with editing or content. And asking for help isn't a bad thing. It's not a weakness. If anything, it's actually a really smart move. Because if you do try to do everything yourself all the time, you're eventually going to burn out. And that affects your business, that affects your relationship, and it affects everything so much more than if you could just get some support around you. So if there's something you don't feel confident with, or something that's taking up too much of your energy, get help where you can. I even got a cleaner to do my house, as it took away a job that was taking me so much time. I'd be working all week, and then on the weekends I'd be doing the cleaning. Now I have a cleaner. My time is spent elsewhere doing what I love and what I'm good at. So that is also being kind to yourself. And don't forget about connection. Catch up with people in your industry or even your friends, laugh with them, talk things through. And if you're feeling a little low or unsure, reach out to someone. I did this with a friend the other day because I was feeling a bit meh, and I just felt a little bit like I didn't really know where I was heading. Talking about how you feel or asking someone for help doesn't make you weak. It's actually a really strong quality. Sometimes you just need reassurance. Sometimes you just need someone to say, I know how you feel, I've been there, or give you another perspective to look at. It's so important to remember that whatever you're putting into your business, you should also be putting into yourself. Because when you look after yourself, your business benefits too. We are now coming towards the end of today's episode, and I really, really hope you enjoyed it. And more than anything, I hope it made you feel like you're not on your own. If you're running a business and you're finding it hard right now, just know that that's normal. It doesn't mean you're failing. It definitely doesn't mean you're not capable or that you're falling behind. Running a business is hard. But if you stay consistent, you're kind to yourself and you keep showing up, you will get there. Everything does figure itself out in time. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. I genuinely appreciate every single one of you for tuning in every week and messaging me about the podcast. Again, if you enjoyed it, please share it with your friend who you feel like may need to hear this today. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, or press whatever button is in front of you so you never miss an episode of Beyond the Tweezers. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.